This is a lesson from my free method book, which you can download from thisisclassicalguitar.com. It's an 80-page PDF that you can download for absolutely free. There's no charge or subscription or anything like that. And this is on page 45. This is the Swan. So this piece is an introduction to two-voice playing. But it's a very gentle introduction for beginners because you never actually play the upper voice and the lower voice at the same time. They're kind of staggered to make sure that it's easy enough to start. So the main thing is that there's an individual upper line and an individual bass line, and they're both going on, and they both fill up the entire bar. So the lower bass line just rings out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just keep in mind, if you're a beginner, that don't accidentally put your thumb back on that note. You want this A in the first bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, to connect to the D in the next bar. So that voice has to be an independent, connected musical line. And then the upper line, although you see a little rest at the beginning, that rest is just to indicate that the first note of the upper voice starts on the second beat. So that voice would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you put both voices together, you get this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So both voices happen simultaneously, but you're never really playing them both at the same time. So that's kind of a small explanation of the point of the piece. The point is to teach students how to play a nice two-voice texture, but it's a gentle introduction to it. And besides that, just be careful on the second bar to finger the F, and then with your first finger, and then the G with your fourth finger, and the D with your third finger. That way, it'll be smooth when you change strings. If you jumped the third finger over, it would be a little hiccup between the two notes. But if you use two fingers, they'll really connect smoothly. So let me just go through the piece. So not too much to talk about. The opening should be not too loud. You know, you could go really soft. As long as it's legato, but fairly soft. And then that middle bass line, you can be pretty loud with it. It says forte. Besides that, there's just some small dynamics, like at the end of the second line. Make sure it's loud to soft, or tension resolution. Just so you're tapering off the phrase at the end there and dealing with the non-chord tone there. Besides that, if you're probably playing this as a beginner, so as a beginner you want to work on your hand positions, just keeping a nice gentle arch in the wrist and moving your fingers, alternating fingers for the top voice, so never repeating fingers if possible. And then in the left hand, just keeping a good left hand position as well. And then we're really just working on legato, right? Like doing that instead of, making it choppy or anything like that. So that's the Swan, a two-voice texture piece for beginners out of my free method book, which you can get off thisisclassicalguitar.com. Thanks very much.